A constant divide between Democrats and Republicans over the past few years. A new divide seems to be getting more intense within the Republican Party as a motion is filed to remove Speaker Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. Joining us now to talk about this and more is Scripps political correspondent Joe St. George live from Washington, D.C. And Joe, this attempt to oust the Speaker is being brought on by Republican Representative Matt Gaetz out of Florida in response to Speaker McCarthy being a part of a bipartisan deal to fund the government and avoid that government shutdown. So what would you say is next in this process? When can we expect to vote? And could this truly be an attempt, or this attempt, I should say, truly lead to McCarthy losing his Speaker position?
Gosh, you know, I'm supposed to have all the answers here, right, Matt? And I often come on your show and provide a little crystal ball, but we don't know how this is going to play out. We really don't. For one, we haven't dealt with this in over 100 years. Yes, members of Congress disagree with their Speaker of the House from time to time, but what we saw last night just doesn't happen. To actually file a motion to vacate, what that starts now is a 48-hour process in which Speaker McCarthy needs to schedule a vote. So a vote could happen today. We expect it by Wednesday night. Yes, there's a few procedures and motions that can take place in an attempt to delay it potentially, but really we expect the deadline here to be Wednesday night for a vote. That means it's a number counting game. Traditionally, in order to become Speaker, you need 218 votes. That's usually on the first day of session. It happens in January every 2 years. Every member of Congress is there. Everybody's voting. But the threshold could be lower this time because there's some vacancies. There's also a chance that maybe some Democrats are not in the chamber simply because they may be at the funeral of the late Senator Dianne Feinstein, for instance. If it happens late on a Wednesday, as the senator's funeral is happening on Thursday, that could impact the threshold as well. Representative Gaetz has had a long-standing feud with Speaker McCarthy. This isn't just about that bipartisan deal to fund the government. This thing goes back years. I think the big question mark is, will Speaker McCarthy and Democrats have some sort of agreement? You need to remember, it goes against the political instincts of Democrats to help an embattled Republican Speaker of the House. So I don't know how far that goes. And also, if Speaker McCarthy needs Democrats to become Speaker, how powerful of a Speaker really is he going forward? So there's a lot of questions. We have more questions than answers, Matt. I'll try to get you some better answers for the next time we chat, but this is unprecedented. We just don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah, completely understood. The unknowns are running rampant right now. So let's try this one in a little bit of other news. The Supreme Court is back and expected to tackle several issues, one of which includes the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and whether it's going to be changed or ended altogether. So, Joe, first off, what exactly is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? What has it done for Americans, and why would you say it's in danger of being lost?
Well, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was really created in the aftermath of the Great Recession back in 2008, 2009. If you speak to the staffers, they'll say their job is to be the watchdog for the American taxpayer. Look out for the little guy. Make sure that banks, payday lenders aren't doing loopholes or doing activity that is unfairly harming the American consumer. In the last 12 years or so, about $17 billion has been returned to taxpayers as a direct result of this agency. It has been the source of criticism, though, for years. Obviously, banks, the financial industry, they don't like agencies that tell them how to do their business. Some conservatives here on Capitol Hill have attempted to shut it down over the years, but the funding of it, the way it was set up, is unique, and that's what's before the Supreme Court today. The funding comes from the Federal Reserve, not necessarily through a congressional appropriation. That's different. The question before the Supreme Court, is that constitutional? If the Supreme Court rules that's unconstitutional, you potentially down the line could see this agency close or be significantly curtailed, impacting its mission long term. So oral arguments before the Supreme Court today. We won't get an opinion, though, for several months, Matt.
Gotcha. That makes sense. We'll be tuned to that and more. Joining me this morning has been Scripps political correspondent Joe St. George. As always, thanks so much, Joe.